Hello?
I know you're alone. I'm coming to get you. I'm going to kill you. I'm already inside. Three true scary Home Alone stories. Number 3.
While growing up, I often had opportunities to stay home alone when I was younger, since my mother and father were forced to travel because their parents were ill and lived overseas, and my much older siblings wouldn't get off of work until at least an hour or two after I finished school. I was used to being home alone and actually enjoyed it. One Saturday night when I was 12, my parents had to go to a funeral for an old friend in the next city. My brother had already moved out by then, and my sister was nowhere to be found, so my parents decided to leave me home alone for the entire day. I was excited. Being home alone for a whole day meant I could blast music and spend as much time as I wanted on the computer. When my brother moved out, we converted his bedroom, the last one at the end of the hallway, into an office, and my computer wasn't there. We still had dial-up internet at the time, so my parents added an extra phone line in the house so I would stop talking up their line. I ran into the office to use what I called my personal phone line to call my friend who lived a few streets over to see if she wanted to hang out. She was really upset. She told me she was having boyfriend problems and needed someone to talk to, so she'd be right over. I thought to myself, girl talk means we need a good treat. And we ran out of the office so I can go check on what was in the kitchen. That's when I saw her. A pale woman dressed in all black, with a black bun on her head. Her head tilted as I ran by the corner. I couldn't really see her eyes, but for some reason, I remember thinking that she was smiling. I got some serious chills and felt instantly frozen. But I ignored it, thinking I was paranoid for being alone all day, and ran downstairs. I couldn't believe my imagination was playing tricks on itself like that. I called my friend to see if she had left yet, and since no one answered the phone at her house, I figured she had. Something still didn't feel right, so I put my jacket and headed out to the driveway to wait for her. When she arrived, she asked me, what was I doing outside? I said, something weird happened, but I'll tell you over white hot chocolate. And we went inside, took off our coats, and drank our hot chocolate in the kitchen, while she told me about the problem she had with her boyfriend. Since both of her boyfriend and I had webcams, we knew we had friends over. We went into my computer upstairs to call him, see if him and his friends wanted to web chat with us. While she was on the phone with him, I was talking to his friend on the computer and setting up my webcam. While my friend was on the phone, she turned around and looked at the door in the hallway. She told her boyfriend that she had to call him back. She looked at me, wide-eyed and white-faced. There's a woman in the hallway wearing a black dress. I got up from my computer and closed the door without looking in the hallways. I frantically tried to remember if I had told her why I was outside when she got there. I then asked her, didn't I mention that when you got here? She said, no. And I said, how was her hair? And my friend said, in a bun. We both freaked out, opened the door and made sure the coast was clear, and pulled it downstairs. I called my parents and told them I was going to my friend's house, but they told me that they were a few minutes away and insisting that I wasn't leaving the house. When they got home, I told them what happened, but they didn't believe me. For the next few days, I kept thinking I was seeing her, but I wasn't sure if it was my imagination because I was so scared, or because she was really there. Weird things happened. Like the calendar in my bedroom would be upside down when I got home from school, or things would go missing from my room. Eventually, these weird occurrences stop. But a couple months later, we adopted a 2-year-old cat. From the moment she was brought home all the way up to today, she has 3 or 4 random corners of the house that she meows at constantly. And every once in a while, after meowing at particular spots, she shrieks and runs away as fast as she can. One of these spots is in my bedroom, and lately she's been meowing at it every night.
Number 2.
When I was about 12 in the early 1980s, my dad once again got custody, so I went to live with him. My dad would occasionally go out at nights on the weekends with a hot date, etc., and leave me home alone. I enjoyed it, because I felt grown up. No babysitter. I usually had a friend stay over or my brother were there, and so it wasn't scary. One time though, I was alone, and it got real scary. I enjoyed being home alone on weekend evenings because it gave me time to catch up to all of the latest R-rated movies, which my dad would otherwise not allow me to watch. This particular night, I was watching Conan the Barbarian as it had just landed on HBO. I had the lights dimmed in the living room. About 10 p.m., the movie is about halfway over, and there's a very loud knock on the front door. I was too short to use the peephole, so I asked, "Who's there?" A man voice says loudly, "You want to buy some candy?" It was 10 o'clock at night, and I replied, "No thanks." 10 seconds go by. I'm leaning with my ear on the door. He beats the door again, startling me, and I jumped. "Do you want to buy some candy? Open the goddamn door!" "No, go away!" He curses repeatedly. His voice sounded like a cross between Samuel L. Jackson and Ving Rhames. He leaves, but not for long. Confused, shocked, I just go stand in the hallway listening. The rest of the house is a fortress, and my dad was safely conscious with always checking windows, locks, doors, etc., afraid of being burglarized. When I would sometimes forget my house key, I was screwed because there was no way to sneak in. We lived in a cookie-cutter development in a very safe suburban area, but during the day it was a ghost town. Parents were at work, kids were all in school. There were a lot of burglaries, as I recall. I was so shaken with fear. I realized how late it was and he's selling candy. I could not go back watching my movie. I turned on all the lights and hid behind the couch. I think he's gone. Suddenly, the man starts ringing the doorbell repeatedly for probably a solid minute. I'm frozen with fear, being the couch clutching a steak knife. That was an adult at the door, not some friends or kids playing a joke. He never came back after that doorbell episode. I never told my dad about it either, nor my brothers. I don't know why. It was so messed up that I pushed it out of my mind. As times went by, it seems to be more like a bad dream. I don't know what would have happened if I had opened that door. Our house was cornered by a busy connecting street. We had some issues there. Later in life, when I was just out of high school, we had a prowler who left signs that he had been stacking our lawn chairs against the walls in order to climb on the roof and peer into our bedroom windows at night. I don't know why I didn't call the police.
Number 1.
One night when I was with my friend home alone, and we were younger, so we were very excited. But the excitement went away as fast as it came. We were watching some television, and all of a sudden we hear a loud banging noise. And we thought, oh, it's probably just her dog. But we looked down and her dog was laying by our feet. Then we thought it was her cat, so we called for her cat. Jerry! And he came out of the basement, and that's when we really freaked out and gathered her pets together and stayed in the living room. Her living room is right next to the kitchen, so we can see the whole kitchen. Then the worst part is when we heard something coming down the stairs and heavy boots in the kitchen when nobody was there. Then we hear another bang, but this time from the kitchen, like someone slammed the fridge. It ended very quickly, but it felt like forever. The next day my friend Mega was on the phone with me and screamed,
What's wrong? What's wrong?
She said she felt something elbow her lightly, and when she turned around, she saw a piece of a dress fly away. The same thing happened to me a couple weeks later.
Thank you to all my viewers for watching my video. I hope I didn't scare you too much. If you would like to submit a story for me to read, send it to the fearzonechannel@gmail.com. I hope to see you again real soon.